Back at Barclays Center, I am Josue Pavon alongside Bobby Manning. The Celtics beat the Nets 109-98, but the Brooklyn Nets, Bobby, they made things interesting. I mean, look, the Celtics can say what they want about closing the door, holding them to 16 points in the fourth quarter, but for a team playing without Kevin Durant for the first time this season, I have to say, I mean, if you're a Nets fan, it's encouraging, this performance, but you have to wonder who's going to take the leadership role here, right? And what I mean by that is really motivate these guys to sort of finish stronger, because I felt like the Celtics really had their way with the Brooklyn Nets. But Bobby, you tell me, was it more of the Celtics capitalizing defensively, or did the Brooklyn Nets just sort of get overwhelmed by sort of the back and forth, whereas it was a 1-point game, 2-point game throughout? The Celtics, as soon as they got to double digits, it was almost as if the Nets just didn't have anything left in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, you saw great efforts against Irving, particularly. I thought you saw good rotations out to the perimeter, trying to stop them in the half court as well as they could. Joe Mazzulla said that was the key to the win, was keeping those cross matches out of play, whether it was Hauser, whether it was Pritchard in transition. But Ben Simmons hit him hard early. 10 assists in the first half. Saw things tighten up for the Celtics in the second half. Yeah,
finished with the season high, 13 assists.
Nets shoot 38% in the second half. You love that if you're the Celtics. And then the fourth quarter stats you mentioned. I'm interested in what would have happened if Ben Simmons took one or maybe both of those shots he had in the lane midway through the fourth quarter, because once he passed up on those and turned the ball over and missed the second one, felt like the Nets were done, just completely deflated them. So they needed more from Ben Simmons, finishing with 0 in this one. Hard to believe. And
Nets head coach was giving him a lot of praise for what he did offensively, obviously coming up with the season high, 13 assists. But he also gave the Celtics a lot of praise, what they did defensively in that fourth quarter, like I just said. Ben Simmons doing the same thing in the postgame. I asked Jock Vaughn, what was the difference? Like, what happened that the Celtics did? And he just said, look, they just buckled down. And that the Celtics have to do, or rather the Nets have to do a better job of not only surviving those type of moments, but also doing a better job of cleaning up the glass and not letting the guards, and he seemed really upset about this, the Celtics guards grab offensive rebounds. In particular, he mentioned Peyton Pritchard, he mentioned Derek White, Marcus Smart, Malcolm Brogdon. I mean, he's look, this is a coach I feel like is the guy you want in charge. He's obviously proven that, but what do you, in your mind, Bobby, what do the Nets need to do to make sure that they stay afloat in the top half of the Eastern Conference, or at least what's going to put them in that position to do so?
Simmons is going to need to get aggressive, and we've talked about this forever with him. He needs to change his mindset out there, and I don't know if he's capable of it.
No.
I think Kyrie's going to have better nights than he did tonight. This team's been particularly equipped to slow him. The last couple of times we've seen them play, they've held him under 10 makes in games, going back a couple games into the playoff series now.
Right.
So I don't think other teams will be able to slow Kyrie the way the Celtics did here tonight. That helps the Nets. They should be able to hover around 500, but that's going to slip them from the top end of the East unless Simmons acclimates to this role better. And I was surprised pregame, Jock Vaughn saying that Simmons is going to have a frontline role in running the offense, and then actually giving him that power in this game, because we saw it. Without him looking for a shot out there, 0 for 3 in this one, it's hard to facilitate at a high level. And credit to him, 13 assists without making a shot is pretty tough to do without being a threat to score. So he certainly has that passing ability in there. Great defensive game from him tonight. You saw the Nets are capable on that end as well. They made life tough for the Celtics. They'll lean on those two things to stay in the race. I don't see a free fall. But if they're not a top seed, they're going to have a tough first-round series ahead of them.
And Ben Simmons says that he has to find a way to be productive offensively in terms of scoring. That is something that he wants to do, but I just didn't see it. I mean, his words post-game didn't quite match what we saw throughout.
Feels like it's never
going
to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, Bobby. And look, it's like what I said in the Celtics post-game show. I'm not expecting him to be a 14, 15-point per game scorer, someone that's going to take, 13, 14 shots, but a couple layups, you know what I mean? Attacking the rim. I mean, that's the kind of part. Whether it was 0 for 3 or 0 for 8 or whatever, you would have said, okay, well, at least he's putting in the effort.
I think 2 points tonight would have made all the difference. He hits that rolling layup off Irving.
You think that would have gave him his confidence, or you think that would have put him right back into the game?
Would have kept the game closer.
Yeah.
Would have probably inspired the Nets to keep fighting there, because then the Celtics go right back down the other end and make it a double-digit game with that Tatum three-point play. It's deflating seeing some of these plays. And you heard it in the crowd, too, right? After he threw it off Claxton on that play, everyone's like, ooh, because everyone remembered the Trae Young play. And it looked just like it to me. And, you mentioned the offensive rebounding, different ways the Celtics found ways to win here tonight. They were undermanned, too.
Right, that's true.
So give them credit.
Yeah.
I think the Celtics have shown through this portion of the season they're better than the Nets. How much better? closer when Kevin Durant's out there, but they're going to be super cautious with him, of course.
And this segment is brought to you by Athletic Greens. Head over to athleticgreens.com/garden if you haven't already. You get a year supply of vitamin D, 5 travel packs, probiotics, things that you need to take care of your body. You get it all done with 1 scoop of it into your water a day. That's it. It's that easy. Head over to athleticgreens.com/garden. That's athleticgreens.com/garden. Now, Ben Simmons, while giving the Celtics their flowers for being so together, as he put it, talking about that fourth quarter, pretty much regurgitating what his head coach was saying in the sense of that this Celtics team, man, they can really capitalize with defensive stops the way they did against the Nets. And saying that, he misspoke a bit, right? I feel like when he was talking about how good the Celtics are and saying that it's not just, pretty much what I think he meant to say was that it's not just individual talent. I mean, it's a team. It's the team as a whole, and I think that's something that he's looking at from afar, or I guess up close, and thinking we're not quite there. Like, we're far from there, and without Kevin Durant, we're going to have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, this is what we just talked about in terms of following his lead.
Right.
Royce O'Neal early, great. Curry making plays. You have guys off the bench stepping up like T.J. Warren, but it didn't connect. Even Warren's 20 points, right? Yeah. There was that play where Smart came over to help, and he ended up missing. Pritchard goes the other way for the layup. Celtics involve guys like Pritchard, White, Grant, Moore, and in better spots than the Nets were able to, whereas you just had Nets individual players trying to find their shots. Other than Simmons, again, you give him credit for the 13 assists, but it's the other end of things with him. He wasn't looking for his own shot.
Absolutely. That's true. The segment is also brought to you by Rocket Money. If you haven't already, head over to rocketmoney.com/garden. They'll help you save money, giving you budgeting tools. They'll make sure you cancel all those subscriptions that you forgot about that you signed up for in 2020 when the world was shut down and you had all the time in the world to sign up for, what was it, $4.99 subscriptions. They were everywhere. Remember that? Yeah, you might still be getting charged for those. So head over to rocketmoney.com/garden and they'll help you out with that. That's rocketmoney.com/garden. Bobby, looking ahead to Charlotte, the Hornets, you look at their record, you say, well, the Celtics, they could, go down there and take 2 games, but as you know, it's not that easy, regardless of who you're playing against. When it's a back-to-back and you're on the road, anything can happen. And the Charlotte Hornets do have guys, individuals, that can come up big against the Celtics.
That last game was so ridiculous.
I
don't think I've been covering the team not long, but a couple of years now. I don't think I've ever seen a lineup worse than the one the Hornets put out there that day. Now you see LaMelo Ball, you see Terry Rozier. They'll be in better position to compete.
Yeah,
still not a great team, though.
Especially at home, too.
If you hit them early like you did in that game, what'd they take? I think it was a 28-point lead midway through the first
Bobby's
quarter.
so unimpressed. Wow.
It was bad. That game was such a blowout.
That was a different team, though.
Different team.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they'll be competitive. I've seen them beat some capable opponents recently, but we know it's the Victor Wembanyama race.
You're right.
They're going to give a good effort. Yeah. Who knows what happens at the end of the game.
They're not trying to win this game.
Who knows what happens at the end of the game that could go awry. But, yeah, you don't want the Celtics to overlook them. They've been guilty of that recently in a couple of different games, at Thunder, namely.
Yeah, that's true. Good point, Bobby. Finally, guys, if you haven't been watching the last couple of weeks, HelloFresh is back. Head over to HelloFresh.com/garden. This segment is also brought to you by HelloFresh. That's, HelloFresh.com/garden21 because you're getting 21 free meals just for watching us. And, of course, enjoying some really good food, whether it's, you want the one with the good steak meals and the beef, whether you want to go vegetarian or whether you want to go fish, they got you covered. Yeah, that's Bobby's favorite. Anything you're into, I'm sure there's plenty of meals that you would enjoy, and you can check out what they got. Again, it's HelloFresh.com/garden21. You get 21 free meals just for watching us. Bobby Manning, Josue Pavon, CLNS Media. It's a pretty good deal. Not bad. And that's going to do it for us here in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center. I will be down in Charlotte. Cedric Maxwell will be down there. Sherrod Blakely. And, of course, the Celtics post-game show. I'm going to try to get him on at least the Celtics post-game show. Right. Since that starts right after the game finishes, I think we have a better chance of getting Max on then.
Max has not been here for about 3 hours.
Yeah, that's true. Well, credit to Max because he did technically make his Garden or Celtics post-game show debut from his house. Because we go so far, after the game, that by the time the show's still on towards the tail end, he could jump on. But because he's a North Carolina guy, I don't know. We'll see how busy he is, but I'm sure we'll have plenty of fun content for you guys, not just from the arena, pregame, postgame, and of course, a brand new episode of the Cedric Maxwell podcast featuring myself. And that's going to do it for us here in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center. He is Bobby Manning. I am Josue Pavon. And I'll talk to you guys soon. The Boston Celtics beat the Brooklyn Nets here in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center. 109-98 is your final score, and I'll see you guys next time.